Barton. As you were viewing these visuals, you probably sympathize with these animals and would agree that oil drilling in their home in Alaska is out of the question. Media, environmentalists, and politicians use this technique of gilding the audience to convince them of their belief. The topic of drilling into the ANWR, or the Arctic National Wildlife Region, would be unimaginable to those who fell into this trap. What the opponents of this topic do not present are the facts behind the plan to drill in the ANWR. Let's first start by analyzing Al Gore's view on drilling in the ANWR. Al Gore stated in his campaign for president in 2000, "For me, this issue is not only an economic issue and a health issue, it is also a moral issue," he said. "I think we have an obligation to do right by the environment." Al Gore appeals to morality in his statement. Morality is a particular system of values incorporating the right or wrong way to do or think about a specific topic. His general premise states that the ANWR drilling project is a morally wrong issue which appeals to audiences' emotions. His particular premise in this statement is how the environment will be harmed if drilling occurs. This is presented in a way that seems like common sense to everyone. People would feel obligated to support Gore's view by the way he delivered his message. Another example of Al Gore's false reasoning is illustrated when he said, "We don't have to degrade our environment in order to secure our energy future. We shouldn't invade precious environmental treasures like the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge in the pursuit of energy solution that would take years to implement, and in the end would yield just months of increased oil supply." Al Gore did not explain, however, the facts behind the government's plan to drill in ANWR. According to ANWR's official development plan, only 8% of ANWR's total area is considered for exploration. The remaining 17.5 million acres of ANWR is not an option to explore. This is less than 1% of ANWR's total area that can be impacted by the oil field. In addition, ANWR claims that there would be no negative impact to animals. ANWR states that Arctic oil fields are monitored daily by state and federal wildlife specialists to prevent harm to the animals that occupy that area. The area where drilling would take place occupies approximately 2,000 acres of this region. This is about 1 out of 10,000 acres of the entire acreage of ANWR. Gore does not acknowledge these facts and does not realize that there are supervised limits on oil drilling that would prevent many of the issues he is concerned with. This visual shows the small region that would be drilled compared to the vast U.S. This small section in our country would ultimately benefit Americans nationwide. During the winter, it is rare to see animals occupying the specific section of the region. The coastal plain of the ANWR is separate of the Brooks Range, where most of the beautiful landscape and life is located. The area that is desired for drilling is actually a flat, treeless, and featureless plain that have few animals that live there due to minus 40-degree temperatures during the winter. Harsh winters would allow the use of ice airstrips, ice roads, and ice platforms where oil development would occur. This would be done when specialists ensure the absence of caribou and other animals. Governor Bush is proposing to open up some of our most precious environmental treasures, like the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, to the big oil companies to go in and start producing oil there. I think that is the wrong choice. It would only give us a few months' worth of oil, and the oil wouldn't start flowing for many years into the future. And I don't think it's fair price to pay to destroy precious parts of America's environment. When Gore said, "I don't think it's a fair price to pay," he is not considering the major impact drilling would have on the economy. Thousands of jobs would be created, America would not have to depend on foreign oil, and the national debt would be drastically lowered. Today, the U.S. imports 61% of our oil from abroad. That represents over $400 billion a year spent by the U.S. In fact, oil imports are the single largest contributor to our national debt. If oil from the ANWR was drilled, there would be an economic boom which would ultimately help the lives of Americans nationwide. Gore does not contemplate the issue of increased power foreign countries gain from not using our own oil. The Middle East, Russia, and Venezuela are all given power as the U.S. depends on foreign oil. Gore deducts that the drilling process would take over a decade. This is not an adequate argument because 10 years have gone by since the idea was proposed. This issue is not about time. Rather, it is about protecting our future and helping the economy and America as a whole. Clearly, Gore has not researched the government's plan to drill oil in Alaska. He has not considered the major impact drilling in Anwar would have on the American people. People are continually blinded by these truths because of Gore's strong opinions that seem logical but in reality are unproven.